Similarly, God is white colored, without any colors beyond the three gunas. And so are the God realized saints. However, when we go to meet them, when we see them, when we saw God in his descension period, when Sri Krishna was here 5,000 years ago, we were also here. When Sri Ram descended, we were also here. So when we saw God or the Guru, based upon our color, we perceived them. If Sattvagun was dominant, we saw them as Sattvic. If Rajagun was dominant, we saw them as Rajasic. If Tamagun was dominant, we saw them as Tamasic. So even regarding God, we gave three decisions. Not because God had any colors, but because we were colored by them. So Sri Krishna says, Tribhir Gunamayair Bhavair. Arjun, this material energy is tricolored. And because of it, the materially conditioned souls cannot recognize me. Forget about when he descends. He is seated in your heart. Can you recognize him? Do you have any perception of him? You don't. He is all pervading in your body. Still you are unable to perceive him. Why? Because of that material illusion. And these three gunas, they prevent us from recognizing the God-realized saints as well. The history of the world will tell you that whenever God-realized saints come in the worldly souls are rarely able to recognize them. All kinds of attacks and all kinds of opposition they have to face. And when they go away, then everybody says, oh, that was a God-realized saint. Everybody reads the Ramayana of Tulsidas, but when Tulsidas was in the world, how many people accepted him as a saint? Everybody declares Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be a prema avatar, but everybody opposed him when he was here. So that is natural because of our three gunas, and they are gunatit personalities. For the same reason, Sri Krishna says, Arjun, the three modes prevent the materially conditioned souls from recognizing my divinity. So what is the way out from this? He goes on in the next verse. Daivi hyesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante Mayametantaranti te. Sri Krishna says, Arjun, this material energy is very powerful and it's very difficult to overcome. Because it is my energy, mama maya. The Jnanis say there is no Maya. Because if you accept Maya, then there are two entities, one Brahma and one Maya. So they say Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. There is one Brahman, there is no Maya, the soul itself is Brahman. But Sri Krishna says, Arjun, Mama Maya, this material energy is my power. And that is why it is as powerful as I am. You know, if Somebody with TB gives you a punch, you will not mind it. Probably he could not even kill a mosquito with it. But if Big Khali or Dara Singh give you a punch, then Ram Naam Satya. The end of life. So the power behind the punch is important, right? Similarly, the material energy has God's power behind its punch. So nobody can overcome it. You do yoga for 60,000 years. You practice austerities in Prayag, do Kalpavas, give away a mountain of gold in charity, keep fasts for 40 days, perform Ashwamedh Yajnas, 100 of them. The material energy will still not go. In other words, by none of these means will it go. Why? God has deliberately made it so difficult. Ultimately, it's God's design. He could have designed it easier. He could have made God realization easier. Why did He make it so difficult? Well, if He had made it easier, the level of perfection would have got compromised. It would have fallen. Like last couple of months, there's been a big debate going on about the IIT entrance exam. Some of you have been following it. They wanted to reduce the standard of the entrance exam. And the IIT professors were saying, no, this will affect the brand. Because if the entrance level is reduced, it will compromise the quality. Let's have a very difficult test. So similarly, God also keeps it a very difficult test. If you can't do it in one life, doesn't matter. You do it in 100 lives. But only when you are so qualified will you attain the goal. Raman Maharshi was asked, why did God create evil? See, He's not created evil, but He has given us the opportunity to do evil. If you want to smoke a cigarette, God has assured that, all right, there are cigarettes in the world, you can do that also. If you want to drink, intoxicate yourself to ruin, all right, that path is also there. So why did God create evil? So Raman Maharshi said to thicken the plot. He made a really thick plot. So that ultimately, finally, when you reach there, after whatever lifetimes it takes, you are really at that level. So this material energy He has made it such, it's impossible to overcome by our own efforts. So in the first line of this verse, he says, Duratyaya Arjun, very difficult. But then Arjun may ask, oh Sri Krishna, then how do I go across? So he answers in the second line. He says, Mam eva ye prapadyante maya metantarantite. There's only one way across, Arjun. What is that? Will we go across by chanting? Will we go across by meditation? Will we go across by worship, by prayers, by yogasans? These are all means, but the aim is to surrender to Him. We will go across by surrendering to Him. Jagan Guru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj, he's written a book called Bhakti Shatak, in which he's put 100 verses. He has written 100 verses summarizing the whole philosophy of divine love. And this exact verse, he has put it there. Binu Hari Kripa na jatiyah Maya ati balavana. Without God's grace, Maya will not go. Sharanagat parho kripa Yah Gita ko gyan. He's directly quoted this verse. And he says, Sharanagat parho kripa. When you surrender to God, by His grace, you will cross over the material energy. So the verse tells us that you need to surrender yourself. Everything, the sadhana that you practice, will help you surrender. So what does it mean to surrender? This surrender is a big word that cannot be described in brief. It means many things. Sri Aurobindo said, cut the knot of your ego from every fiber of your being and offer yourself complete and whole to God. And the mother said, in the ultimate analysis, surrender to the divine will is the supreme wisdom. The highest intellect is to surrender yourself to God. So let's try and understand this concept of surrender. Surrender basically means to accept that you are a tiny part of God and constitutionally, intrinsically, you are His servant. Because you are the energy of God. So all energies serve the energetic. When you situate yourself at this platform that I am His energy, my aim is to give Him happiness, that brings about the surrender. So when our goal becomes to serve God, we naturally give up our independent desires to enjoy. I want this, I like this is my preference. That is not the way for a servant to behave. There's a story quoted in the Mohammedan tradition about Hazrat Ibrahim. So he is referred to as Abraham in Judaism and Christianity. So Abraham was a prophet, but before that he was a king. He kept a slave. In those days, there were slaves used to be bought. He bought a slave. And he asked the slave, by what name should I call you? The boy said, Master, whatever name you wish to call me by. What will you do? Whatever you ask me to do. What will you eat? Whatever you give me to eat. What will you wear? He says, whatever clothes you desire me to wear. What is your desire? He said, whatever is your desire. Don't you have any desire of your own? He said, I am your servant. My aim is to please and serve you. I don't have my independent desires. Hazrat Ibrahim looked at the boy from top to bottom, bottom to top. He said, you have taught me how to surrender to Allah. Go, you are free. So that is what surrender means, to give up your free will. Like a leaf is surrendered to the wind. The wind carries it up, takes it to the north, brings it back, drops it, lifts it up. The leaf has full trust in the wind, and it does not complain regarding where the currents of the wind are taking it. Similarly, surrender to God means you place your full faith in Him. My Lord, I don't know what is good for me. You are my eternal Father. You decide what you want of me and let it come to pass. I will keep striving to serve you. So that kind of surrender, Sri Krishna says, Arjun, that is what will help you cross over Maya. So surrender has various aspects to it. I have mentioned these points often. There are 6 aspects to surrender. Anukulyasya sankalpaha pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishyatiti vishwaso goptritve varnam tatha. The first point, to desire in accordance with the desire of God. What does He want of me? To desire that. So surrender doesn't mean becoming desireless. Kripaluji Maharaj says, Teri ichha mein ichha banati rahu, tere sukh mein hi sukh nit pati rahu. Oh God, let me keep desiring in accordance with your desire. What do you want? Let me find that out and desire to make it come about with all my might. So the devotee is full of desires in conformance with the desire of God. The desire to serve Him and give Him pleasure. The devotee's desire is 100,000 times stronger than ours because it is in service of God.